Joining me now with the details of that meeting is New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler, an influential member of the House Financial Services Committee, who is still in Palm Beach right now. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Maria. Appreciate it.
Well, you just heard Senator Lindsey Graham. Why should he subsidize New York and California, given your high taxes there? Make the case.
Well, there's no question that New York and California have terrible leadership under Kathy Hochul and Gavin Newsom. We don't dispute that. But the fact is that we are a high donor state to the federal government. New York sends more federal dollars than almost any other state down to the federal government. So the fact is that our folks are not subsidized by red states. We, in fact, are helping subsidize the federal government on an annual basis. If you look at South Carolina, for instance, they are one of the biggest recipients of federal dollars in comparison to other states by a percentage. So, look, I understand the arguments. I get it. But the fact is that it's double taxation. And our residents should not be penalized simply because, some folks don't like blue state policies. We get it. We don't like them either. We're fighting back against them. But that doesn't mean that we should penalize our tax base.
Well, you had a very important meeting with President Trump, and I know he gets this. He was a resident of New York, understands the tax policy in a very sophisticated way. What did he say to you this weekend? Do you expect the SALT cap to be lifted?
He understands it completely. He agrees the cap on salt needs to be lifted. It did have a negative impact on states like New York. The fact is we have among the highest tax burden. I represent Westchester and Rockland counties. They are the highest property tax counties in America. And so, the combination of taxes is devastating, and $10,000 is just insufficient. And I would remind my colleagues, here's the reality. If we don't pass a tax bill, the cap on salt expires completely, and we go back to unlimited. The problem is that it would be associated with the largest tax increase in American history. The rates would go up. The alternative minimum tax would come back. So there's reason for all of us to negotiate in good faith. That's why we went down to meet with President Trump. He understands this. And he said to us, look, I'm with you. Come back with a number, and let's work through it. And that's our objective. We're going to negotiate in good faith with our colleagues and with the president to come up with a number on salt that works. The fact is that, if you lift it to, say, $60,000 for an individual, it covers most everybody. So we're working through this. We'll come up with the numbers and come back for a honest negotiation with our colleagues. But we need a tax bill that works for the American people and that provides real tax relief, coupled with border security, coupled with increasing domestic production of energy, dealing with our debt and long-term spending, and really getting America on the right track. That requires us all working together as one team, Maria.
So the cap is $10,000 right now. What's your number? What does your gut say?
Look, I introduced legislation to lift it to $100,000 for individuals, $200,000 for married couples. We will work through this negotiation with the president, with our leadership, and come up with a number that works as part of the overall tax bill. Because, again, we don't want the alternative minimum tax coming back. We don't want the rates to go up. So you got to work through this as part of a overall negotiation.
Well, let me ask you this. What about your vote on the overall agenda? Let's say the two different tracks here. You've been talking with colleagues about how you're going to do this. One big, beautiful bill, as President Trump likes to say, or two separate bills. If you've got one bill and taxes is not part of that, will you still vote for the other things like border, military funding, and energy permitting?
Look, the president and leadership are going to make the ultimate determination on whether it's one bill or two bills. I want to make sure that we get the agenda passed, inclusive of taxes. The only red line I have is that if there is a tax bill that does not lift the cap on salt, I would not support that. If the tax bill ends up in a second bill, obviously we'll deal with that. I want to secure the border. I want to increase domestic production of energy, and I want to provide real tax relief. I fundamentally believe that is best accomplished in one bill because the reality is our margin in the House is too small to screw around. And we all got to work together. And we all have to recognize none of us are going to get everything we want, but we all have to get the bill across the finish line. So my fundamental view is one bill is the best way to accomplish that. Ultimately, the president and leadership will make that decision.
So just to be clear, if you've got one bill and tax extensions are in there, but the SALT deduction is not, you won't vote for it?
I've said from the very beginning, if SALT is not lifted, I will not support a tax bill that does not do that. That is critically important for my constituents. I have been clear about that for over 2 years. And again, that's why we're here negotiating in good faith. I have every reason to believe that it will be included. President Trump has been very clear about that. He reiterated that last night. And again, I want to thank the president because he invited us to come down to hear from us directly about what matters. And he reiterated the point that he made on the campaign trail, that he supports lifting the cap on SALT. I have every reason to believe we will get that done.
Real quick on congestion pricing, because we know that New York has a lot of issues. Its taxes is just one of them. Now we've got an additional cost to residents of just passing 60th Street or 62nd Street. You've got to pay $9. What about this congestion pricing? What is the impact, and will you work to change it?
It's a scam, Maria. It's a money grab. Kathy Hochul is trying to raise $1 billion in revenue to borrow $15 billion. The MTA has more debt than 80% of the states. The fact is, this entity, this authority, needs a complete overhaul. Congestion pricing needs to be stopped. Kathy Hochul is charging New York residents $2,500 just for the privilege to commute to work, meanwhile spending billions of dollars of taxpayer money on free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care for illegal immigrants. You look at California, same thing. Gavin Newsom cutting $100 million for fire prevention while spending billions on illegal immigrants. This is why these two states are so screwed up. I agree, we need to change course in them, but we can't penalize New Yorkers and hardworking taxpayers that live there.
All right, Congressman, we are watching your work closely, and we so appreciate your time this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mike Lawler this morning in Florida. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.